Hello, hello. I am trying something new today. I am trying to live stream into not only my Facebook group, The Profit Factor, but also my YouTube channel and also my Facebook business page. Supposedly StreamYard can go to all these places and do all the things. So I am going to get my phone out and let's see if it actually worked, because I have never tried to stream to multiple places at once. If you guys are here, say hi and let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so I definitely see it in the Profit Factor. Let's see if we are live on my business page and if this is actually working. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't think it is. Yeah, that might not be working. Let me try to search in a different place. And I have no idea how I'll be able to tell with YouTube. I will have to do that after the fact. But this was scheduled for 1 p.m. So we'll give people some time to hop on while I try to figure this out and see if it's actually working. All right, so I think, no, I really can't tell. No, I am. It is working. So I see that I am live in both of those places. Let me turn my comments on. Okay, so it just says Facebook user. So when I use StreamYard, I cannot see who it is. I'm wondering if maybe that's Karen, though. I think it's Karen because I feel like maybe I saw you sign on. So hi, Karen. But if you guys just grant StreamYard permission, then I'll actually be able to see your name. Otherwise, it literally just shows me Facebook user, or it'll say like YouTube user. Oh, and I am live on YouTube as well. So it looks like it's actually working. For those of you not that familiar with me, I am beyond technology challenged. It is hard times for me over here. I can read a balance sheet like the back of my hand, but I cannot figure out Facebook. True story. Hey, Kelly. Okay, so for anybody who does not know who I am, because I normally do not stream into my business page, so hopefully we'll be hitting new people today. So I am Danae Wolf. I am a financial literacy coach and a profit strategist, which means that I help entrepreneurs understand their numbers so that they can then take that information, take that data, and make operational improvements in their business to help them make more money. I granted when you started this a while back. Somebody is saying that they granted StreamYard permission a while before. I think the way it works is you actually have to grant them permission every time I go live. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is, because right now it just says Facebook user, so I'm not sure who is saying that. So I am glad you are joining us today. If you are catching us in the replay, in the comments, just say replay so we know when you heard of it. And feel free to leave any questions, because I will definitely be back and monitoring it. And the best way to reach me, guys, is in the group, The Profit Factor, and to tag me. If you tag me, I'll get an alert. But I see a lot of times that there'll be questions that I just wasn't alerted to because I wasn't tagged. So then it takes me a while to get back to you. So if you tag me, I try to get back to you as quickly as possible. Okay. So today I really wanted to come in and talk to you guys about money mindset and the way that your money mindset can affect your business, the impacts that it can have on your business financials, because it actually is very intertwined. The way you think about money and the successfulness of your business in regards to the money part. So the first thing that I want to ask you guys is, how do you think and talk about money? And I know that for a lot of you guys, this might really seem like a very frou-frou type of topic. So I'm just going to start it off by telling you, I firmly believe in the power of the mind. And I believe that if you change your mind, you will change your life. That is something that I believe. So everything that I'm going to be talking about today is definitely coming through that lens. So if you are skeptical, what I will say to you is, what do you have to lose? right? I'm not asking you to spend any money or take any major risks here. I'm really just asking you to get in tune with your thoughts surrounding money. That's what we're really going to be diving into today. So the first question is, how do you think and talk about money? So when it comes to money, is it one of those things where you're like, your kids need to leave the room when you're talking about money because you are going to be using some 4-letter words? Is it a positive feeling when you're talking about money? Are you coming from a place of scarcity? Are you coming from a place of abundance? Really ask yourself this question. How do you think and talk about money? What type of a role does it play in your life? And be honest with yourself as to where you are with that. What is your thought process around money? What type of words, what is the language you use to describe money? Because I find that a lot of times we act like money is a dirty word. We act like it is a 4-letter word that we can't talk about. It's just a part of our society, really, that it is faux pas to talk about money. It's just how it is in our culture. And it's really, really a disadvantage for the entrepreneurial community. For the average person, yes, I think it's a disadvantage because I think that if we talked about money more, there'd be a lot more money awareness and a lot more education happening around money. But for the average person, it's not as detrimental as it is to the entrepreneur. It's really important that as an entrepreneur, we are comfortable talking about money, that we don't view money as a dirty word, and that we are having conversations about it because that's how we start to learn, right? And get other people's perspectives so we can really see a rounded view of money. It's something that is not inherent, right? This is not a natural thing that we all just know what to do with money. The reality is you have to learn money. Okay, how you feel about money, your mindset around it, your behavior around it, these are learned behaviors, okay? Your money mindset was created when you were a child. So I want you to go back to that initial question I asked you. How do you talk and think about money? And then I want you to say, how was money talked and thought about in my household growing up? And you'll see that there's really a correlation there. The way that you think about money is directly rooted into your childhood and some of your earliest memories about money. Now, some of you might be thinking, no, my parents were horrible with money and I'm great with money, or my parents were great with money and I'm horrible with money. It still impacted you, okay? So if you grew up in a household that there was a lot of financial frivolous activity, irresponsibility, and now you are like in it to win it and on it, it's because of what you witnessed as a child, right? It taught you to be the opposite. So it did impact you. Or maybe you're following the same patterns, right? Either way, it's impacting you. So it's important to kind of go back into that memory box and say, hey, when I was growing up, what did I learn about money? What was the conversation surrounding money? What was the thought process? What was the message that was sent to you at a young age about money? Was it something that you work hard to get and spend? Was it a message of you work hard to get it and you save and you never spend? Was it this message that it's unattainable and, people like us can't have a lot of money? That's for other people. What were these messages that you heard? And it's really important that you guys really take the time to sort this out. So again, number one, you're asking yourself, how do you think and talk about money? Number two, you're saying, what is it from my past that's shaping that? Going back to my childhood or maybe going through, maybe it's not necessarily your childhood. Maybe it was when you put yourself through college, right? And dealing with taking out a loan for the first time or trying to work and pay tuition and pay your bills and your rent. And, there could be different experiences throughout our life that shape how we think about money. Or maybe it's a time when you got laid off. you lost your job. Maybe that time is right now in this COVID chaos where everything you thought you knew about your financial situation has been turned upside down, right? So go through these questions and ask yourself and really get familiar with it. Because what I'm going to tell you is that your money mindset drives every single financial decision that you make. They're all stemming back to how you feel and how you think and talk about money. It impacts your spending habits and your financial decisions. So if you operate from a place of abundance, right? Let's say you come from this place of abundance and you really have this mindset of there's a ton of money out there. It's mine for the taking. I make money easily. Money flows easily to me. If you have this mindset going, when it comes to spending money, when it comes to making investments, you do that stuff confidently because you are coming from a place of abundance, right? But when you have this scarcity mindset, when you have this mindset of there is not enough money, I am not one of those people who's just going to have a lot of money. I've never had a lot of money, so that's not going to change. When you come from this scarcity mindset, it holds you back because maybe there are opportunities that you are missing. Maybe there's investments you're turning down or you're scared to take that next leap in business because you feel the need to hoard your money. So this is something that is very common. And I've seen this with people who are millionaires. They don't spend money. They stress about money, even though they have more money than they ever dreamed. It's because they operate out of fear. They come from this scarcity mindset of I need to hoard my money. So all of these things and these little nuances about how we spend or save our money, it's all rooted back to what is our core belief when it comes to money, which is back to that initial question I said. How do you think and talk about money? And the problem is we have to keep those thoughts and conversations really to ourselves. Because for some reason in our society, money is more taboo than sex. It would be more appropriate in most social circles to have a conversation about sex than it would to have a conversation about money. Think about that. It's insane, right? But it's the reality of the society that we live in. And the reason why money is so taboo is because people feel shame around money. People have a fear of being judged when it comes to money. Because somewhere along the way, we have this idea in our society that money equates with self-worth. So the more money you have in your bank account somehow equals the more value you bring to society. Somehow we've done that. Our way of measuring our self-worth is through our net worth. And this is a horrible way to look at life, right? I mean, money in your bank account. I think you guys have seen enough, celebrities fall from grace because they're drug addicts and commit suicide. They're miserable. We've seen enough real life examples to show you that money doesn't cure everything. Money isn't going to make you happy, but you do need to fix this noise, this money mindset that you have going on, because it's driving all of the financial decisions that you're making. So what are some ways that we can really focus on improving our money mindset? Well, the first is realizing, like I said in the beginning, money is not a dirty word. Okay, you have to be comfortable with that and discussing it. And it is okay to proclaim, I opened my business to make as much money as possible. It's okay to say that. It's okay to admit that. Okay, I think in the entrepreneurial community, We hear this message a lot. This message of, if you are in it for the money, you are in it for the wrong reason. Okay, I'm sure you're all nodding your head because you have heard this. This is a very, very common message being sent to the entrepreneurial community. And it's bullshit. Okay, it's honestly bullshit because money makes the world go round. So, if you are in your business because you have a passion to do good, you have a passion to help others, whatever it is that you do to serve your community, however you are serving your clients, your community, your tribe, whatever you want to call them, however you serve them, you feel passionate about doing that, right? It lights your soul on fire. You want to create real change. I believe all of us feel that way, right? I am lit up about teaching financial clarity to entrepreneurs. I absolutely love the work that I do. I love watching somebody's transformation, right? And I am very much driven by that, right? I enjoy doing it. But the main reason I started this was to make as much money as possible. That's the reality. But I thought, well, if I'm going to make money, I'm going to do it with something that lights my soul on fire because I want to enjoy my life. So I'm not going to just do something monotonously to make money. I want to make sure it's something I enjoy. But for some reason, as entrepreneurs, we get this message that those lines are blurred. We're told, no, it's got to be about the cause, and then the money will come. So if you are just serving and doing good, somehow money is going to magically appear. That is a lie. That's not the way the real world works. So I think it's nice to say that you should have a higher purpose for your business and you should be serving others. Absolutely, because that is going to make you happy. That is going to make you feel fulfilled. But that doesn't mean it's going to put money in the bank account. You can't pay your landlord his rent with a hug. You're not going to offer him a cuddle. That's not the way the real world works, right? We have bills to pay. We need to make money in order to do that. And a lot of great companies have disappeared because they were built on wonderful missions. They were doing wonderful work to improve the community, but they lost sight of the money side of their business. They just felt, if I chase my passion, if I serve my clients, if I serve my community, the money will come. The money will not come. You have to have a plan. And when it does come, you have to have a plan as to how you're going to keep it, right? And how you're going to maximize it. Because the impact that you can have on the world, the change that you can make, is going to disappear if your company goes under, right? So we have to be really careful with creating this false narrative of, if you are in this for the money, you're in it for the wrong reasons. I hate that statement. I hate that statement because here is the truth. If you were not in it for the money, you would form a non-profit. If you're a non-profit, this doesn't apply to you. Right? I get it. This is an altruistic movement for you. You are inspired by the work. It has nothing to do with money. If you are an LLC, if you are an S Corp, if you are a for-profit business, this is about the money. Because the impact that you want to have, the change you want to drive, the transformation you want your customers to experience, that all stops if your bank account goes to zero and you go under. And if we keep avoiding our finances, right? If we keep avoiding our finances because we don't understand them or we think it's faux pas to talk about, then we're not tracking things. We don't know what's going on, and we're not going to be able to survive. So it's really important that we can understand why we think and feel the way we do about money. Why is it that it's more taboo than sex? Why have we allowed society to paint money as a 4-letter word? We have to remove the shame and the fear and the guilt that is intertwined with so many entrepreneurs' mindsets when it comes to finances. This money noise is deteriorating you. And I really want you to focus on changing that. changing it. Let's turn that ship around. Let's change the way we talk and think about money. It is okay to admit that you are in business to make money. You can want to see change and want to serve your customers and help them have a transformation. You can be following this passion, but it's okay to also be following the money, right? Because what happens if we don't follow the money, right? If we don't pivot, right? Hashtag pivot has been a very common theme during this COVID chaos. What happens if we don't pivot? We go under, right? And then we can't help anyone. We can't be the change that we want to see. And I have some comments. Hold on, sorry. So we have a weird one there that is saying some creepy things. We are going to block user and delete comments. I don't know who Alaman is, but no, I would not like any sex today. So we are going to block that user. He should work on other things in his mindset besides money. But thanks for the compliment, I guess. So Aja says money is not a dirty word. Yes. So it is. It's not. It's not. And we want to make sure that everybody is embracing it, right? Think about how much we learn from each other, right? One of the greatest gifts of being an entrepreneur is being able to be a part of a community, right? So whether that is a mastermind, maybe that you're a part of, or maybe if it's just a Facebook group you're a part of, right? Like our Facebook group, The Profit Factor. Getting all of these different minds from these different walks of life, from these different types of businesses, getting them all together and doing an exchange of thoughts, right? Think about how much knowledge you gather from that. And if you haven't been doing this in your business, sort of this collaboration, think about it in your personal life, right? As moms, right? A lot of us I know in this group are moms. We talk to each other, right? Like, oh, my son, I'm potty training him. Who has all the tips? I'm trying to sleep train my baby. Who has all the tips, right? So we know that it is powerful to talk to our peers to learn from them, right? But for some reason, we don't do that when it comes to money, right? For some reason, we are not comfortable going down that path. We're not comfortable saying to our peer, our fellow business owner, I'm struggling financially. Do you have any tips? How do you manage money in your business? How do you make sure you're profitable? We don't do that because we're scared to admit that we're having money problems, right? We're scared to talk about it. Or maybe we're having success. Maybe we're having financial success and we don't talk about it because, again, we're scared of being judged. There is this fear because money is so taboo to talk about. So I really want you to get in some type of a group where you feel safe, and hopefully our Profit Factor Facebook group, we're providing that for you guys. But I want you to be somewhere where you are comfortable to talk about this stuff, where you are comfortable to ask questions and know that you're not going to be judged by the caliber of your question. There are no stupid questions when it comes to finance. If it's a real question you have, you need a real answer. So some of the things that I want you guys to be working on in regards to, figuring out why you think and talk the way you do about money. I also really want you to stop comparing yourself to others. This is huge. And I think this is a lot of where that judgment and that fear comes from. And I think we've all heard the term keeping up with the Joneses, right? I'd love to see where the Joneses are when we're retired, because if they spent all their money trying to have all the flashy things, what exactly are they going to do in retirement? These are the things that we have to be talking about, right? It is more socially acceptable to go out to dinner with your girlfriends and talk about your sex life than it is to go out to dinner with your girlfriends and talk about your retirement plans. Why? Your friend could have a wealth of knowledge you don't even know about because we're scared to have these conversations. It doesn't need to be scary, right? And you don't need to be comparing yourself to someone just because you want to sort of pick their brain and you want to talk to them. Everybody's financial situation is going to be different. Everybody's sort of, goals are going to be different because we all have different lives and different lifestyles. So you're not comparing apples to apples, right? Somebody may make more money than you, but maybe their bills are higher. And at the end of the day, maybe you end up with more money in your bank account than they are. So there's so many different things that go into it. Just you can't compare. You can't compare. And maybe your neighbor bought a fancy new car and you're still driving your beater, but maybe that neighbor doesn't have a pot to piss in and they can't retire and they can't afford to send their kids to college. You just don't know anybody's backstory. So definitely do not compare yourself, because if you're scared of comparison, it's going to really stop you from engaging in these conversations. And it's important to talk about money. I'm not telling you to post your paycheck on a Facebook Live, but I am telling you to feel empowered to ask the questions, start the conversations. How can we make our businesses more profitable? How can we save for retirement? How can we make sure that we're spending within our means? These are the conversations to have, but people don't want to have them because they don't want to admit that they don't already know the answer. The next step that I want you guys to focus on is creating and maintaining good habits. This is crucial when it comes to financial clarity. And where most people are at a disadvantage is you don't typically, number one, learn it in school, right? It's not really a part of curriculum. And a lot of people are at a disadvantage due to the way that they were raised, where their parents didn't have these conversations with them, right? It is very rare that I encounter someone who sort of grew up knowing the ins and outs of finance. I think it's one of the greatest gifts you can give your kid, but most people don't get it, right? So we don't know what good habits are surrounding money. So we have to learn that. And then we have to create them and maintain them. So what are some ideas of good habits? Well, not spending more than we have. So avoiding credit card debt, right? Don't just put it on a credit card. Well, if you don't have the money now, maybe you shouldn't buy it, right? Making sure to kind of differentiate between what is a want and what is a need, and being honest with yourself as to the answer to that question. Setting your budget and sticking to it. Now, a big problem with the B word, this budget, whenever I start to talk about budgets with my clients, is people feel very constrained by them, right? So they feel that it's going to be stressful to have to stick to a budget, or they're not going to be able to live the life they want to live if they stick to a budget. A couple things to say on that. Number one, I do not believe that there are many things that can kind of equate with the stress that comes from financial stress. You could have stress from all kinds of things in your life, okay? But it is a special kind of suckiness. I'm searching for the right word, but there is a special type of distress that comes when you are dealing with financial stress. I see it all the time. I've talked to you guys before about how I will get on a consult with a complete stranger and they burst into tears. They burst into tears talking about their financial situation because they don't talk about it to anyone. They hold it in. They bottle it in. Like I said, you go out for drinks with your girlfriends, you're more likely to talk about your sex life than you are to talk about that credit card bill that is keeping you awake at night, that is eating you alive. That stress is real and we're bottling it up, right? So I'd rather you deal with the stress of having to stick onto a budget than the stress that comes with having financial worry. The other thing that I think people don't realize you can do with a budget is let's optimize it for your happiness. What are things that will enhance your life, right? Maybe it is your weekly manicure. Maybe it is your monthly massage, right? What are things that you could incorporate into your life that we could get onto your budget that bring you joy? Okay, creating a budget doesn't mean that you don't get to spend, that you don't get to live. No, it just means we are going to live and spend responsibly. We're still going to invest into things that make us happy, Okay, we're not asking you to give anything up like that. And the final thing I really think you guys need to take into consideration when we are talking about changing our money mindset, you need to practice gratitude. And I know that this is going to sound so incredibly frou-frou, but bear with me here. Like I said in the beginning, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Nothing. So gratitude is a practice that is near and dear to my heart. Okay. This is something that I started practicing maybe 2-3 years out of college. I watched a friend go through a terrible tragedy, and the grace that she sort of had during that time, and the way that she was still able to have such gratitude for the things she did have despite the great loss that she experienced, it really made me reflect on myself. And I was like, oh, if she could live what she just, live through what she just lived through, and I'm over here complaining about the littlest things that happen to me, what am I doing wrong in my life? How is she still able to have gratitude, and I can't find something to be grateful for? No way. So I really started looking at my life, and instead of looking at it through a skeptical lens, I started thinking, okay, I really harp on all of the things I don't have, right? That was really my main focus. And this is the younger, dumber Danae. And then I had this aha moment and said, I need to focus on the things that I do have. I need to focus on the things that I am thankful for and grateful for. And to this day, it is a daily practice that I do before I even get out of bed in the morning. Okay, when my eyes open up and I am still kind of in that la la land, the first things that I start, it's like a movie reel. The first things that start going through my mind is everything I'm thankful for. So, if you guys follow me, I have a newborn, so I can't quite lay there and harp on it, but I'm thinking about it the whole walk down to her room. And as we're having our morning nursing session, I'm thinking about it. This is the first thoughts in my mind. I start my day with a movie reel of everything that I feel gratitude for. My husband, my marriage, my children, our newborn daughter, like all of the things, our extended family, our wonderful friends. This is all the things that are playing through my head like a movie reel. So when something does happen that maybe isn't how I planned, I fall back on this gratitude. And I find that when you focus on the things you have, right, and the positivity and the positive things you have, what you focus on, you create more of. So instead of focusing on the money you don't have, right, instead of focusing on, I can't afford to buy that Mercedes, well, maybe you can afford to buy that Ford, and maybe that Ford is pretty damn nice. Be thankful for it. Be grateful for it. What you focus on, you're going to create more of. So really just reprogramming our brain to say, I'm not going to stress about what I don't have. I'm going to be really thankful for what I do have. And again, does it sound frou-frou to you? Maybe, right? Maybe you think this is all bullcrap. But again, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Wouldn't it be more fun to sort of start your day thinking about, here are all the things I'm thankful for, as opposed to opening up your eyes in the morning and all of your stresses kind of jumping in and focusing on all the things you don't have, all the things you haven't achieved? No, let's focus on what we have achieved. Let's focus on what we do have. And let's practice gratitude for it. And try starting your day with that. And I'm telling you, it will have a huge impact on your life. So I hope you guys got something out of this today. I would love to hear your personal stories. Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Did you grow up in a house where you talked about money? Did you grow up in a house where money was sort of off the table? I grew up in a house where nothing was off the table. We talked about everything. We were able to ask whatever kind of questions we wanted to in a safe space. Were my parents equipped to answer all of them? No, nobody is. But at least we had a safe place to discuss it, and conversations could happen. And if we didn't know the answers, they didn't know the answers, we worked together to figure them out. So getting comfortable with talking about what your money mindset is, how it's shaped, and how can we work on improving it and getting you to a healthy relationship with money. I don't want money to be something that you sort of quiver when you hear, right? I want you to be like, I'm comfortable and secure discussing money. I'm comfortable and secure discussing my money and my money situation. And I am confident in my ability to gain control over my money situation. So that is all for today. I hope you learned something, and I hope you guys take me up on my request to leave your comments below. Let's share some stories. Let's try to get rid of this taboo about talking about money. I will see you guys soon.